Hello, everybody! Welcome back to Quest Junkies. It's Friday night, and that can only mean one thing. It's time for
Strahdalicious.
Strahdalicious. Yeah, you jumped in there. Brilliant. Hey guys, say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, we are thrilled and so excited to be bringing this brand new campaign for you tonight. I'm not gonna keep you all waiting. We've been waiting long enough for this campaign to start. So, check the chat for the usual gubbins about the merch store, the Discord, the discount with Tabletop Dominion and all that wonderful stuff. Sirenscape, Phoenix Iwaki. Hey, John. Hope you're doing all right. And all that jazz. But now, I shall hand over to the Dungeon Mistress, Bree.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to my first time DMing for Quest Junkies. One of probably many, besides from this campaign, possibly. So there are a few housekeeping items to get out of the way, so we aren't going to be doing long intros every time for this, but in honor of Session 1, we've got a few things to go over. First of all, as a content warning, this game is 18 plus. Nothing that should violate Twitch guidelines, don't worry. But it will contain elements that viewers may find disturbing. So my players, I can assure you, have gone through Session 0 with me and will be actively checked in with throughout the campaign. So we'll be good on that. There are a few other things that I need to explain that are different for this campaign. So to start, there is a stress system in D&D Raw that barely gets utilized. And what a better campaign to start using this for than Curse of Strahd. To give you guys a little explanation on what the stress system is, I've changed things to better suit our campaign, but players will encounter stressful situations in-game. And depending on how they feel about certain things, they will end up rolling Constitution saves to avoid gaining what we call stress points. Stress points are interesting because they are additive. You don't want stress points. A single stress point will add a -1 to any roll that you make in-game. So not a good thing at all. Sometimes stress is unavoidable too. Sometimes it's just an automatic, you get a stress point. However, on the flip side of this, players can relieve stress during short and long rests and a few other times, one that I'll mention in just a bit, as long as they focus on themselves. We are big advocates for self-care here at Quest Junkies, and we are utilizing that in this game. Now, this leads me into the next difference for our campaign. And you guys might have noticed that we have a little happy camera right here. I forgot there's a lag on my end to get to that point. So, we've already had a few subscriptions during this game. The next thing that I'm telling you about is our Wheel of Dread. Wheel of Dread is kind of the counterpart to the Wheel of Chaos, and it's done differently. With follows and subscriptions, we don't automatically roll the wheel. Instead, for each follow, each subscription, a counter gets added into the roll pool. That pool is available to my players, that if there's an important roll coming up, they tell me they want to gamble a stress point. And they can, as long as there's a counter in the pool, they can make a roll on the Wheel of Dread. The Wheel of Dread, this is going to be the only time I really go very, specific into details on this. the Wheel of Dread is a good thing for the most part. My players will want to use the Wheel of Dread because it can give them nice bonuses for whatever roll they make. So if they have something important, a roll they know could have a big impact on the story, they will tell me they want to use one of the counters in the pool and roll. There is several different options to this Wheel of Dread. We have +1 to roll, +3 to roll, +5 to roll. So your typical, like, just bonuses. There's something called Spirit Bless, and that is a auto success on your roll. Which, excellent, right? There is Adrenaline. So when you're stressed, there could be a chance that A, you're gambling the stress point, you're tapping into your natural adrenaline. And this is going to give you one of two bonuses you can choose from. The first bonus is you can get a ability score bump of your choice. So if you want to have a 20 intelligence or a 20 con for up to 1 hour in game, you will have that available to you. Or you can take the healing equivalent to 1 potion of healing. So, really great boon. Now here is where the dread part comes into it. While you can experience adrenaline, you could also experience panic. And what panic does is it is a -3 to your roll. So there is a chance when you roll this that you could have a negative bonus. You could also roll something, and this is a two-parter, called a Vengeful Spirit, which means that you gain an additional stress point on top of the one that you gambled in order to make this roll, giving you 2 stress points. You don't want this. But there is something called the Cleansing Spirit that you could land on as well. And that's the case where you lose a stress point and you aren't required to take the stress point that you gambled. So that can actually give you kind of a boon in that aspect. So while we started, I don't know if we had any other follows or subscribes, but when I was paying attention to the chat earlier, we had 3 subscriptions. So we have 3 counters in the Pool of Dread. Exciting. Now, we look at our party. I'm going to have everyone give me just a short introduction about yourself. Could be just your name, whatever you want. And we'll get started. But let's look at the overlay. We'll start with Patch.
Oh, this is weird being in the player's seat. Hello, I'm Patch. I'm the usual face you see on Quest Junkies in the GM seat, but now happily taking the D&D player seat for whatever chaos is about to rain down upon me. And I'm thrilled to be here. That's me.
Yay! All right, and we'll go down this time to the left. And River. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm River. I play Artagan on some Wednesdays the next few weeks on the World Chronicles here on Quest Junkies. And apart from that, I'm just illwise.chaos on all social media. And I'm very excited to play this.
Excellent. Moving across, Sky.
Hello, I'm Sky, known as Sky McSparkle or Briar here when we do Wild Mounts kind of stuff, you know. And I am Chaos Incarnate.
Yes, you are. And thank you for the subscription, Pat. Adding another counter in. Oh gosh, you guys are starting. What's wrong with that? Moving down to Bridget.
Hi guys, I'm Bridget. Typically, you can find me Monday nights in Redania Chronicles. Do I go with a fun fact about my character for fun?
If you want to, this is session 1. We can be extra if we want.
Yeah, for anyone who was a fan of The Mummy, the outfit was inspired by essentially female Rick O'Connell cosplay.
Hey. All right. And last, but certainly not least, C.
Hi, I'm C. I have played Nemo in the past on the channel, and yeah, today I'll be playing Abrea.
Wonderful. Now, without further ado, let us journey into the mists of Barovia. We start our story in a quiet, seedy establishment, which aptly was christened the Blood of the Vine Tavern by its owners. You are all seated at a shoddily built wooden table, sitting across from one another, with an empty seat left at the head of the table. It's clear to all that are seated that none of you belong here, leaving you to wonder who you all are, wondering what brought you to this place, and wondering why. Patch, please describe your character.
So seated at this table, I like to imagine like they found the seat at the table that has the most shade, so they're like as much in the shadow as possible. But there is a flicker from these tribal-like tattoos across her form, which glows blue whenever she uses any kind of magic, which she uses to light a cigarette. And as the glow lights up her face, you see this wild-looking woman covered in scars and tattoos, long, straggly, messy, dark hair, and completely black eyes with glowing blue pupils, much like the glow of her tattoos. With an expression that she is already done with all of this shit.
Excellent. You find yourself somewhere else in this moment, a flashback, if you will. You are standing in the forecourt of a large castle, loud clamoring filling the inner halls. Cries of "Kill the vampire" are mixed with even bolder voices shouting, "Never again." The blood and adrenaline courses through your veins. How many years had it been? How many times had you tried and failed to achieve what so many others had not? Surely this time would be different, right? You take a breath and you push your way in through the broken doors, courtesy of the others who had broken them down before you, and you find yourself standing in a large foyer. Please roll me a investigation check.
With pleasure. First roll.
First roll of the game, everyone.
Investigation. That'll be a hot 7.
A hot 7. Oh, lovely. You wander down the halls. You don't know how long that this takes you. Just know that every turn you make, you swear you had just been there. Your surroundings are looking very similar. You don't know how much time ends up passing after all of this, but you do find yourself in front of a door. And this door has a open, small, ornate lock upon it. You find yourself compelled to take it off the door and pocket it. Now, is there, with this maze of halls that you're going down, is there anything on your mind or anything that you were hoping to do?
I think at this moment in time, Linnell's mind is only focused on one thing, and it's the same thing that it is focused on every single time that she finds herself here in this place.
All right. Decide to push through that door. And finally, you find yourself in a different area. A long hall going far down with double doors closed tight ahead of you. This is it. This is where you were trying to find. Going to head forward?
Without hesitation.
You slowly make your way down that hallway, your footsteps echoing, your heart beating, thumping heavy in your chest, and you reach those double doors. Bringing them wide open, you push yourself into the room and find yourself in a great hall. The ceiling is multiple stories tall, and the room is devoid of decor, except for the broken bodies littered throughout the room. Your gaze is snatched upwards towards a figure seated on a throne across the room. The door behind you slams shut. Roll me a perception check, please.
Okay, that's a 13.
Perfect. There's a figure sitting upon that throne. Her skin is pallid, apart from a rosy hue spreading across her cheeks, and the fresh ichor dribbling down from her lips to her chin, dripping onto the expensive silk blouse she wore. The body of a lifeless woman draped across her lap. You know exactly who this is. She steps up, letting the body roll off of her lap and slam onto the floor with a sickening thud. Her blood-red lips quirk into a smirk. Callie, my friend, we meet again so soon. Surely you haven't missed me that much, though I certainly have missed you.
You could see for a brief moment that she bites her tongue. Time and time again, I'll tell you, you don't get to use that name. And time again, I will come back to remind you of why.
Well, I, for one, must say I do enjoy this little game that we've been playing of cat and mouse, though I do wish you would shake it up a little. I'm getting a bit bored.
Interesting choice of words. I'll throw a chromatic orb at her.
Ooh. All right. Now for chromatic orb, you'll have to explain to me whether or not it's a roll to hit or a save.
It is a roll to hit.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay. Natural 1.
It doesn't even come close, and in fact, she looks quite amused at your cute little attempt. You hear angry voices, the voices from earlier at the door you came through, hands and weapons clanging as they bang into it. And this figure looks towards the door. Oh, my dear, it seems there are some rats in my castle. And she looks back at you. Make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Wisdom save. Okay, tonight is my night. That's an 8.
She steps closer to you. And you feel your body still. Linnell, why don't you eradicate those noisy villagers for me? You feel powerless as your body begins to move on its own, spinning you around helplessly towards the door, readying itself for the coming battle. Just in time for the door to give way. Angry villagers spilling into the room. A farmer in front, wielding a pitchfork, meets your gaze. Linnell, I want you to roll to attack.
Dirty 20.
All right. We are going into a little combat, and I want you to explain what spell or attack you're going to use against this poor farmer.
I think that given Linnell's usual choice of the arcane as a weapon, and given that the individual currently in control loves to play these games, I think she just pulls out a dagger and she just goes feral, and I think she does so with a single tear streaming down her face.
All right. Roll to hit.
$17.
All right. Roll me damage.
5 points piercing.
Please explain to me, as you murder this innocent man, how it looks.
With the single tear rolling down her cheek, I think she lets out this guttural scream as it seems like the only thing she can control right now is her voice. And it is raw emotion as she lunges forward and aims directly for the base of the jaw with the dagger straight up.
You watch as this man collapses to the ground, the life slowly leaving his eyes. You killed this man, and now it was time for the next. No matter how much your mind screams at you, your body is enthralled, doing her bidding as you slaughter one innocent person after another until you're the only one left standing. We return to the table in the seedy tavern. Sitting next to Linnell is a figure wearing a dark cloak, the hood pulled over to hide her face. River, please describe your character.
First gotta come down from that? Okay. Well, wearing a big hood because red hair. So, as you can see what I'm wearing also in the picture, Sarah has red to yellow, like an ombre kind of hair, very short with lots of braids. There are some twigs and leaves in her hair. You can see if she has her hood down, which she only does when she's like out in the wild, because as soon as she's in town, she puts it up. She has very autumn vibes clothes, very green, dark green and blacks and reds. Usually the same stuff because, well, it's Barovia. Where would she get new stuff? She's sitting next to Linnell, very like broad and staring into the tankard in front of her, very lost in thought. Bit annoyed, confused expression on her face, like, when are we gonna start? Come on, we got probably stuff to do. Yeah.
All right. A clattering of bugs nearby jostles something for you. A memory. Mother had been right. The woods were dangerous. How foolish of her to think that she would be fine, that the horrors of the night wouldn't stop to consider a small little girl. The moon shone brightly this evening, beautiful and round, though to many, an ominous warning of the dangers that follow as night falls. Clambering through the thick brush of the woods, branches tearing at her clothing and scratching up her arms and cheeks, this little girl runs. The howling of wolves drawing closer, seeming to nip at her ankles as she sprints onwards. Pushing through the dense undergrowth, she feels a searing pain as a jagged dead branch slices into the delicate skin of her face. Her eyes water with tears. She can't stop. She can't slow down. Do so here would mean death. River, can you please roll me a survival check?
That's a 2 for a total of 7.
For a total of 7. 7s are heavy today. Another sound crashes in the nearby distance. The panic and fear takes over. Mother was right. Why didn't she just listen to Mother? Large and bumbling, frenzied movements grow closer and closer. She could swear she could feel its hot breath on her neck. Glancing around, desperate for safety, she spots a tree. Dashing towards it, she is stopped in her tracks by something in the dark. Something large, with glowing red eyes and sharp, pointy teeth. Seraphina, you wake up in a cold sweat. Trying to settle your racing heart, you glance around the room. That was just a dream. You're alone in your bed, alone in the cottage. Roll me a perception check.
That's a natural one. That dice is.
It takes you a while to settle. And after the events of the past few weeks, perhaps you're not finding it as easy to feel comfortable in this cottage. It feels more and more empty than it's ever been, even isolated in the woods. Go ahead if you'd like to get up and explore your cottage.
Yeah. Get up, and after not finding anyone, go outside and do some exercises because I gotta keep in shape somehow. And if no one's is around, then that's the least I could do.
Right? You spend some time outside of your cottage, just killing time. Not much to do out here, especially now that it's just you. But eventually you do make your way back into the cottage. And you notice something you didn't see before. There is a single red envelope left on your dining table.
I take it and open it.
It refuses to budge. You can't.
I set I set it down on the table and just punch it because stupid fucking envelope.
Your knuckles slam against this table, and you do feel a slight cushion to it when you do. And when you flip over the letter, you see a wax seal. A Z molded within it.
Have I seen the seal before?
Not. It's very mysterious.
Well, I'm just gonna take that stupid envelope and gonna put it behind one of my belts. Because at some point I'm gonna find something sharp to get it to open.
All right. Back in the tavern, you pat where that letter sits, all too aware that it is still with you. Your attention is drawn to an elf sitting across from you, sitting close to quite the oddly dressed woman, and confusion seemingly drawn upon both of their faces. C, please describe your character.
Okay, so being an Eladrin, I often look very different to my portrait. And right now, I do look like the portrait, but the flower in my hair is actually more like this. A bit
Ooh.
too much. Like it is very very big. But my hair also is all white. And yeah, I have a very confused look on my face.
Right. And your memory takes you back as well. When you first came to Baldur's Gate, it had been difficult finding someone to even listen to your request, let alone agree to fulfill it for the measly sum that you were able to scrounge up. But this was important to you. Getting home was important to you. It was all you ever wanted. So, tenacious as you were, you scoured the city and eventually found a lead via a gnome by the name of Fernigan Havenfellow. Now, you eventually found yourself at a wizard's tower where he resided, under the cloak of night. You needed powerful magic that required a bit of sneaking around to accomplish. Fernigan leads the way down a dimly lit staircase, the air surrounding you thick and humid, growing cooler the farther you descend down below the ground. Fernigan's robes were just a bit too long for his height, indicated by the worn and tattered hem at the bottom of his garment. His hair frizzy and brown, gathered into a messy ponytail. The two of you continued downwards, with nothing but the sounds of your footsteps echoing down the chamber, and reaching the bottom step, Fernigan puts a hand out and moves a finger to his lips, quietly shushing you. Please roll me a stealth check.
Okay, stealth. 13.
13. You are as quiet as you can be. Just making your way down this hall. It's funny, you've actually ended up being quite more stealthy than Fernigan. After all that lecturing he gave you beforehand, his robe snagging on everything, and you as lithe, as nimble as you can be. You make your way down that hall, and at the end, there's a door. Fernigan pushes his way through, leading you into a large room filled with bookshelves and cabinets. Quick, I need you to find me a metal rod, one with a fork in it, while I draw out the circle. He kneels to the ground, pulling out a piece of chalk, and begins hurriedly drawing out a large circular symbol on the ground.
Do you know where you keep them?
It could be anywhere. I
Okay.
don't typically have access to this room, I'm going to be honest with you. So you need to be quick about it, because I don't want people to know we're here.
This seems all legit.
Roll
I
me an
start looking.
investigation check.
Okay. 15.
Teen. Quickly, you begin to search for this rod, choosing to look through the more organized part of the room. It doesn't take you long to find it, carefully wrapped inside a cloth and tucked into one of the cabinet drawers, along with a ornate but empty reliquary made of fractured glass. You feel compelled to pocket that reliquary as you grab the metal rod. It's heavy in your hands, and upon further examination, gold appears to be inlaid within the metal.
Does this help?
Excellent, excellent. This is exactly what I needed. And he finishes up the circle, wiping chalk dust off his hands. Now, stand in the middle of the circle. Be careful not to disturb the drawing with your skirts. You mess it up, it's gonna mess everything up.
Okay. I'll just pull them up.
You step into the circle, and he begins casting the spell, the chalk lighting up beneath you a pretty purple color. The dust begins to spin around, your body feeling like it's being pulled along with it. Your vision goes white.
Oh, it's working.
All right, Sky, please describe your character.
you see very much like what I'm dressed up as now. A girl with purple ombre hair that goes down to silver with space buns, a see-through holographic top, a choker on her neck, and as the light flickers, you can almost kind of see the shimmer of scales across her cheek, across her shoulder, just in various parts of her body. And when she talks, she tends to kind of semi-cover her mouth and her teeth. And you see a circle on her palm.
All right. Ileana, the proud captain of the Opal Viper. What is known as a wasp ship, a lightweight wooden vessel that appeals to many because of its swiftness and need for only a small crew. It didn't hurt that it was affordable. The Opal Viper is a small, humble vessel, but it's your own. Your crew consists of Ganesh, a tall, hippopotamus-headed humanoid with an affinity for cooking and wielding the most powerful firearms he could get his hands on. It was only fitting that he found his place on your ship as both your cook and your gunner. He has a fierce look, but a soft, ooey-gooey center, fashioning himself as your crew's adoptive father. Then there is your navigator and tinker, a Githyanki by the name of Dath. He is the quiet, serious one of the group, oftentimes found doing patrols of the ship, making sure everything is in tip-top shape. And last, but not least, is your first mate and science officer, Veer, another Githyanki, as well as the husband of Dath. Unlike his partner, he is the sunshine of your crew, always cracking jokes and keeping things lively on deck. Your body tingles, painless pins and needles spreading along your skin as you sit upon your spell-jamming helm, situated on the foredeck at the front of the ship. Things have been smooth sailing in the Astral Sea, and you are on your way to make your latest delivery and collect your reward. All has been peaceful and par per the course, at least until a strange ripple appears in front of your ship. An Eladrin elf materializing just in time for her to collapse onto the foredeck ahead of you. Avray is now on the foredeck of your ship.
Did I do it? Did it work?
Excuse
Where am
me?
Hi?
Hi. You seem to have stumbled on the Opal Viper, and you don't quite look like you belong here.
No, is this the Feywild? The Feywild?
No, dear, you're in space. And by your puzzlement, I'm gonna say you're probably not a threat.
I mean, I could be, but no, this is not where I was meant to be. Why am I here?
You could be, and she's gonna flick her nail, and a weapon starts to materialize.
I didn't mean to you. I'm just saying it was kind of offensive.
Well, Stowaway, how can I help you today?
Where am I? What is this ship? Also,
What?
are those clouds?
Well, and she's gonna look at the lights outside of the window and the fact that she's got a new person on her ship. I'll deal with you later. It looks like someone else may be in need of help. One moment, please. She's gonna walk towards.
Just in time, because popping onto the foredeck is Dath. He does a double take, looking at Avreya with quite the confused expression on his face. A stowaway? Wait, don't tell me yet. We have a bigger problem. Captain, I don't know if you realized it, but something altered our course. We aren't even in the same system anymore. And motioning towards the astral sea, you would see debris floating everywhere. Roll me a perception check.
All right.
Wait. So the clouds were actually rocks this whole time?
21.
You would see this area is dangerous. And you would realize you are needed to direct the ship safely through all this floating debris. As you pass a rather large piece of metal and rock, you realize you're getting uncomfortably close to what looks like a battle between two ships. You're about to navigate your ship through when a large shockwave rocks your boat, not giving you a moment to collect yourselves before something smashes into the side of the boat, throwing you from the helm and sending the ship hurtling helplessly in the astral sea, your ship slamming into bits of debris. Roll me a survival check, please.
All right. Survival is going to be a +5. Rolled a 19, so that's going to be a 24.
Perfect. It's a struggle, but you grab the helm with all your might, gravity keeping your crew safely aboard the ship. You take back control, redirecting the vessel from a collision course with another imposing hunk of metal. Another force begins to undermine your control. A black hole has seized the ship with an unstoppable pull, eclipsing the Opal Viper into the depths of a seemingly inevitable void. Everyone on board hits the deck. As the ship is hurled downward, dread forms a tangible knot in your stomach. The Opal Viper falls out of the sky, accelerating at a terminal velocity. The ground rises up to meet you, and everyone on board, in a split-second moment of devastating impact. Then, there is nothing but absolute, terrifying silence as everything goes black. Now, Ileana, Avreya, choose one of you to roll me a d2.
D2.
That's a coin
That
flip,
deal.
right?
Yep,
I don't have a coin, so
That's
you have
okay.
one.
Well, what we could do is odds and evens, right? So a heads will be odd,
Mhm.
evens,
Okay.
well, yeah.
It's your ship as well, so it's fitting.
All right, that is evens.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Avreya, you are the first to regain consciousness. Your body sprawled underneath a giant piece of wood. Your body aches, and it's clear that you have managed to avoid certain death. Across from you is the mysterious woman with purple hair that you had met on the ship when you first materialized there. She is unconscious.
This is fine. This is fine. So my eyes, already gray, start to lose their color as I try not to panic, and they become white. I try to lift up all the wood that I'm under.
All right. And you're able to do so without any kind of check. Able to lift it off.
I didn't even get your name. Hello. I try to shake her awake. Hello. You're not dead, are you?
What happened? Where?
I have no idea.
Oh shit,
you
my
okay?
ship! No, I'm not okay. What the?
I'm so sorry, but do you know where we are? Because I didn't know earlier. I mean, especially now. I feel like we're not where we were when I didn't know where we were.
Okay, all right. Listen, you showed up on my ship. There was something happening. There was a shock, and now we're not in space. So yeah, I totally know where we are. No, I don't fucking know where we are.
I
Are
don't
you
know.
hurt? Do you need help?
No, I'm fine. It's all fine.
Where's my crew? Where's my
As the two of you gather yourselves, you realize you have crashed in a large, empty field. The lights of civilization in the far distance. The coral viper is decimated around you. You're looking for your crew. Roll me an investigation check, and Avrea can do a help action if she would like to assist.
Yes,
and give you advantage.
Okay. Well, I have a +1 to investigation. It's not my strong suit. But we did roll a nat 1 and a nat 20.
Oh, excellent. Nat 20's in the chat, everyone. Nat 20's in the chat, because that advantage lets you take the 20.
And we will be posting our nat 20s in the Discord.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The wreckage is thick and mangled, but you dig through frantically, looking for any signs of your crew. Most of the wreckage is too heavy for you to lift, even with Avrea's help. But you do manage to find what looks to be a door. You would recognize this is the door to the cargo hold. Do you open it?
Absolutely.
Opening the door, you find the room mostly collapsed, smashed crates everywhere. A large gray arm sticks out from under the wreckage. A small, locked music box cradled in his palm. Doesn't appear to be any dent or scratch in it.
No. I grab the music box and I fist their hand in my hand.
It's cold.
I don't feel pulse. I do. We just finished. And she just starts to sob.
Avrea, as you make your way into the room, a piece of wood collapses in front of you that you need to shift out of the way. This chunk of wood looks foreign to the ship that you see around you. In fact, when you look upon it further, there's something written on the side. The name, Fortune's Folly, painted.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but was your ship called Fortune Folly?
No, we were the
So,
Opal Viper.
so this is not yours?
How big is the sign?
Pretty big. It's big enough that you would be able to see the name from a different boat. You would know that this is not a part of your boat. This must be part of what hit you, hurtling your ship into space.
Junk, and she kicks it.
I'm
Two
so
of
sorry.
you. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's all I wanted to say. I'm sorry.
Fear? Death? There's no way. It's just me and you.
I don't understand it either.
We can't stay here. I've got some supplies. We'll go we'll go get help.
Yes, let's do that.
The two of you look around the wreckage, looking for anything that you can grab, anything you can find. You don't find the bodies of Veer and Dath, just ganashes underneath the heavy wreckage. Would you like to bury the body or leave it as is?
Instead of burying it, will you help me drag it out of the wreckage, please?
Of course.
And we work on taking our very big boy, Nash, out of the wreckage. And I look over his body and I lay a kiss on the top of his little snout for the last time and step back and start launching Sacred Flame at him over and over again until he incinerates.
You watch as his body burns. And it takes a while. He is a very large humanoid. But eventually, when there's nothing but a pile of ash and cinders, you collect yourself. And the two of you make your way towards the lights of that civilization in the distance, both unfamiliar with the strange world you have fallen, literally, into. Which brings us to the last person sitting at the end of the table. Bridget, please describe your character.
I'll start with the way she's sitting, which her posturing and the way she holds herself is at odds with how she leans back in her chair, looks around the room, seeming to want to keep track of who all else is in here. She has atypical coloring. Her skin is light pink. Her hair is dark purple at the top and fades into a pink ombre. She... What's the kindest way I can think to say this? She has a buxom build.
She thick.
Yeah, you could say that. I like playing thick characters. Her eyes are a dark cobalt blue. She is dressed in a white button-up shirt with black suspenders leading into dark trousers and boots. She appears... Her neutral mask is contemplative. She is lost in thought.
And lost in thought she goes, bringing her back. Cold. So very cold. But why is it so cold? And why don't you shiver? In fact, why are your limbs not responding as you urge them to? And why does everything hurt? You can't see anything but darkness. Inky, black darkness. You struggle fruitlessly to move your body before giving up. What is happening? And where are you? Your mind struggles to bring you the answers you seek. Instead, you're met with nothing. Drumming up a panic in your chest, your mind begins to race. Anxious thoughts peeking from beneath the fogginess in your mind. Please make me a wisdom check.
Hmm.
11.
11. Your brain finally settles on the only logical conclusion. You are dead. A voice in the back of your mind seems pleased by this. It speaks to you. Death is such a wonderful thing, isn't it?
She doesn't respond.
Oh, come now. Don't be like that. I promise I'm a friend. If you'll have me.
Is this my afterlife? To be tormented by silly voices for eternity?
You think I'm silly? Well, I suppose it must be a little odd for you. I mean, you are dead after all, but you're not dead. There's still some hope. And as I said, I could be really, really helpful for you and be quite a friend indeed.
What's the catch?
Oh, nothing too major, just, well, really, all I want is that one day when I come calling upon you again for a favor, you listen and you follow my command, no matter what. A small price to pay for life.
Well, better than the alternative, I suppose.
Now we're talking. I promise you, it will truly be a wonderful friendship, and not only will I give you life back, but I can even give you the power to prevent all of this from happening again. If you'll take it.
Tell me, a wise, omnipotent, silly-voiced being that you are, do you have any idea how I came to be dead?
Have some indication, but that would spoil the fun. I'm sure you'll figure it out eventually. You won't need my help on that.
Very well. Are you to be my light out of the darkness, is that it?
Oh, I really like that. The light out of the darkness. Oh, mortals have such cute ways of putting things. It's adorable, frankly. But yes, I will be the light out of the darkness. All you need to do is wait. And I'll come. I'll come calling. Maybe not when you ask, but when I need to.
I suppose nausea is one way I can determine that I am in fact alive again.
Don't hear the voice respond to that. In fact, your brain feels oddly empty. Voice fading away, leaving you to your thoughts. But you do find you're able to move again, though you can't seem to move very much. Roll me an investigation check.
Okay. A 4.
As you try to sort your situation, your hand meets something cold and wooden. You attempt to press up against it, but it refuses to budge. Breathing in, your nose is overwhelmed with the smell of fresh dirt.
Acting on instinct, she will attempt to land her fists against the wooden thing.
All right. Are you going to roll to attack it?
Unarmed strike.
All right, go ahead. Hi, Raiders. Thanks for joining us.
One, 2, 1.
21. When you hit the wood that is in front of you, you hear a cracking sensation. And dirt begins to sink into the space.
Changing the tactics. she will aim up instead of to the side. An Eldritch Blast.
All right. Go ahead. That's a roll to hit. Go ahead and roll that.
Would I like to gamble? Can I gamble?
Generous everyone has been. You want to go ahead and be our first wheel?
Yes.
All right. I'll take out that bead I just put in. And we are going to do our first Wheel of Dread spin of the game. All right. And Patch, I will leave that up to you to get the ball rolling.
All right, let's find out together. First spin. Our survey says +5 to the roll.
Wow. There we go.
And is that to this roll?
Yeah, you add it to that roll.
Oh, good. Okay.
And typically we would choose to do the Wheel of Dread before you make the roll, as a heads up for everyone.
Then that is a 14 to hit.
14 to hit. More dirt begins piling in on top of you at an alarming rate, pressing down on your body, sinking into your mouth. You choke, and you begin to try to remove it as more and more piles in, suffocating you. Until you realize you're not actually suffocating. You no longer need to breathe.
She might attempt to, I suppose, swim through the dirt, wade through it.
Okay. Make me a athletics check.
Leapt out of my tray. 12.
12. It takes a long time, grueling hours, to make your way upwards, up through the dirt, until finally your hand breaks the surface, and you pull yourself scrambling up above ground. Looking around, you find yourself in a graveyard. You have just dug yourself up from your own grave. Now,
She'll...
you want to do a last little thing?
turn around to read what the tombstone says.
It's blank. Just a marker. Nothing more. We find ourselves back in the tavern. And I think this might be a good time for our midway break. We'll start back up afterwards.
Oh boy!
Crushing it. I love all your characters.
Oh boy. What
That's a great start.
Oh my god.
We'll be back in about 5-10 minutes when we've attempted to process all of what the fuck is up with that? So
I'm
see you
simping
soon.
for all of you.
See you guys soon.
100%. And welcome back, dear friends, to Quest Junkies. This is Strahdalicious, and after that incredible intro, Dungeon Mommy.
How's everyone feeling? Everyone feeling good? Properly traumatized?
Feeling
Still
attracted
alive.
to everybody
Just
at the
getting
table.
started.
I could go for a bit more.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you ask and I giveth. We are going to go right back into the tavern. Back at present day, seated in the Blood of the Vine Tavern. To some of you, this establishment is new. To others, you've been here many times before. For this time, you are all waiting for one person. One person who has gathered you together. But she's not here yet. Instead, you're all sitting at this table and have the opportunity to get to know one another.
I think Linnell's sizing everybody up whilst finishing the cigarette. But it's probably very easy to notice that her eyes switch between everyone, but in between everyone, switch back to Lena in particular.
I think Lena takes a second look at Ileana and I was just admiring your fashion choices.
Well, thank you very much. And she looks at you and you see the eyes of a snake. I'm rather keen on your suspenders.
Still, I'm assuming you're offering your hand.
Yeah.
She'll
Ileana.
shake politely. Lena.
And this one, and she nudges Avrea.
Yeah. Abrea is a lot more guarded than she was in the beginning. And Abrea, nice to meet you.
Charmed, I'm entirely certain.
For sure. And who are you? Can we take a look at you under the hood? I asked Sarah.
Sarah just keeps watching for a second and pulls the hood back a bit so the face can be seen. Like, oh, sure, I mean, I'm Sarah. Nice to meet all of you, I guess.
I think you have a leaf in your hair.
Oh, that's a fashion choice.
Okay, I like mine.
Yours, I think flowers is a better way to go there as leaves. I gotta be honest. Like I never thought of about putting flowers in my hair, but it suits you. It's very nice.
It's kind of the same
Suits both
thing.
of you rather well.
Thank you.
Wait, thank you.
Gotta agree, the suspenders are nice.
Mhm.
Thank you.
What about you then? I like your tattoos.
And so you should.
Charming.
You know, people keep telling me that, but I assume they're always sarcastic.
I was about to say. And she covers her mouth.
You're certainly confident.
That's potentially the nicest thing anyone's said to me for a while. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And your name is?
My name is Linnell.
I think
Well,
I gotta
I-
write this down because this is a new names. I'm not good with names, so
That's a first.
Yeah. I'm
Hope
gonna
things
get
won't
you two
become too
confused a lot.
confusing.
Well, Avrea's been around. We just went through a thing together, and I just call her Cinnamon Roll.
that's cute.
Delightful.
She is ridiculously adorable. I kind of hate it.
I mean, so is she. She says that, but look at her.
Are you two together?
No,
Oh no, we just
absolutely
met.
not. Yeah, stow away
It's
on my ship.
vibes.
No.
Somehow, we still don't know how.
What, a ship?
Yeah.
Yeah, it flew in the sky somehow. I never heard of such a thing, but
What
my.
the what? No shit. What?
not only in
Ding.
the sky, but in space.
Mm-hmm. We were riding the space dust.
Where
And
you
you landed
hide?
here. Oof.
That sounds like a lot of bullshit. Like riding in the what, Stardust? Come on,
In the
I'm
Astral Sea?
not drunk yet.
I wouldn't believe it either if I weren't there.
Huh.
You just mean that you just stay here on the land in perpetuity.
Where else would I go? I mean, yeah.
Maybe on the sea, but we never thought. Like, usually ships are on the sea.
Barovia is rather
no.
landlocked.
Oh. So are you all from here?
She'll incline her head.
No matter of
You know-
speaking.
You asking that makes me think that you're not, and how?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of from all over, apparently.
The
Curious.
door to the tavern opens, interrupting y'all's almost awkward get to know each other chat. As everyone feels that sense of discomfort and further confusion, the questions from before are even stronger in your mind. Who really are all of you? And why? The reason for all this, the reason for your gathering, finally steps inside.
Finally.
You see a woman approach. Her ashy blonde hair pulled back into a long braid, and she is dressed in clothing that perhaps once was expensive and well-fitting, but now worn and, while not quite tattered, it's nowhere close to being new. She spots your table and immediately makes her way over, sitting at the head. Linnell, Sarah, and Lena, please make me a history check.
18.
24.
You three would be quite aware of who this is. And when she approached you originally, you would have known as well. This is the current residing burgomaster of the village of Barovia, Irina Koliana. She looks at everyone sitting at the table, and you can tell there is this pensive anxiety as she's sitting there slightly uncomfortable. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Well, I know that this must have came very strange, but there aren't a lot of people that I could ask here, and, well, all of you are, let's be frank, outsiders, and you stick out, and all this to say, I have a proposition for each of you.
That's rude.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be rude. It's just, it's kind of the truth. And she gestures around the tavern, and everyone in the tavern is looking at you all sitting at the table with quite odd expressions on their faces.
I think
Kind
Linnell
of
shouts out.
showdown.
Linnell shouts out to some of them. Draw a picture, it'll last longer.
The barkeep kind of like just grunts in approval at that as he's like cleaning a cup.
Anyone who didn't back down from that, she'll meet their eyes and just silently raise her eyebrow.
Now, all of you, let's not make this a fuss. I think it's apparent that you all need me just as much as I need you. This position I've taken up is new. Well, it's not new. I'm new. I'm the new one, but our past burgomaster, my father, he died recently, leaving me in interesting straits. Was not expecting it to go to me, but here I am, the new burgomaster with all these new responsibilities. But sorry, I ramble. I'm sorry. It's something I do, and my brother gets on me all the time about this. But speaking of my brother, his name is Ismark, and when our father passed, he found a letter that our father left behind, asking him to retrieve a family heirloom in the event of his death. He left a few days ago and never came back. And I mean, besides from everything that I have to do as new acting burgomaster, he needs to come back so we can take our father's body to the local church and have, the ceremony, all that stuff. And, well, frankly, I've tried getting help from other people here in town. And if you help me find Ismark, I promise I can make it worth your while. I mean, kind of.
Well, I mean, you're giving us something to do. That was kind of my job before, so absolutely.
She sighs, a heavy sigh of relief, like,
Whereabouts should we start looking?
the letter, it indicated somewhere out of town, and this is probably why, well, frankly, no one wanted to listen to my plea about this. It's about a day out of town, in an older part of the village. There used to be some buildings, and, well, I suppose just over time our village has shrunk a lot, and with all the monsters and stuff coming out at night and it making travel dangerous and like everyone's on lockdown, it kind of makes things just a little more difficult.
Did you just say monsters?
You don't know about the monsters. Oh, great.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we've had a problem at nighttime. Different things, strange creatures like ghouls and wolves have been harassing the village after nightfall, and it's really put all of us into quite a precarious situation. I hope that doesn't influence your willingness to help, Miss,
Friends call me Illy.
Illy.
If anything, the monster thing would push me to say yes. Ardently, yes.
Oh, are you a monster hunter?
One can say. That part of me is a predator.
Can I make an insight check into that comment?
Yeah.
Go ahead, do it. Unless Ileana wants to do any opposing rolls.
Go ahead, girl. You got it. She's just
Oh my god. It's really high too.
She's using her like little fangs to bite into her a little piece of her finger, and she's like hiding the fact that she's doing it and her mark is fully exposed.
That's a 23.
Oh yeah, she a monster fucker.
She'll take a second look at Ileana and fascinating.
So, is the lockdown related to the monsters?
Yeah, it's not a hard and fast lockdown. It's kind of, well, no one really listens to me. They're not taking me seriously. But I've been telling everyone to stay inside at night, to retire to your homes and safety of them, unless you're very well, armed and prepared for that sort of thing, which, from the looks of all of you, you seem to be quite prepared.
Thank you. Tell that to her. She thought I wasn't.
Well, she's gonna stop herself from saying anything to that.
Do you also happen to have a mechanic here in, what did you say it was,
Barovia, and what's a mechanic?
Oh, what in the fresh hell? Okay.
We do have help.
That's will be useful for later. Yeah. Spark note that.
It's a spark note.
Oh my god.
What's a spark note? Well, yes, so, I would advise you all to not willingly go out into the night and try to encounter anything. She's gonna lean in, lower her voice. There are rumors that these creatures are being sent by her.
Her?
Why would
Oh.
she send the monsters though here?
Now you
Please.
have my full and undivided attention.
The she-devil, for those of you who might not be aware, well, typically she leaves our village alone, and, every year we put forth our offerings, the different harvests that we've had, and what small amount of money we can scrounge up, and it's collected, and we don't experience anything more than that, but strange things have been happening in the village? Aside from the monsters at night.
Well, what sort of strange things?
People are acting strange, and this is more hearsay than anything, but girls are going missing. Or at least we're being led to believe. It's really how much you can trust the words of Mad Mary is debatable. I mean, she's been yelling at everyone about her daughter, Katruda, for the last, few weeks. But, I mean, with how she treats her daughter, I mean, she might have just run away to a different town, so...
Has anyone else gone missing?
Not anyone that I know of firsthand. As I said, I mean, with the chaos of someone going missing and these attacks at night, the villagers get a bit excited, and you know how rumors work. Someone mentions something and then gets mentioned to the next person, and, well, frankly, it's hard to tell what is valid and what is just something someone's made up to clear the boredom.
Well, what's the most important investigation we need to take over from here?
I may be biased, but I would like you to find my brother. It's been a few days, and let's be real, Ismark is not the best at defending himself. He is a bit headstrong. He runs into things like the letter, and she pulls out the letter from a pocket. This was the letter that my father left us. Except, I don't think my father actually wrote this. And she sets it on the table.
Does it look similar to the envelope I have?
Yes.
Very interested suddenly, like leaning over the table. What does it say?
Well, it doesn't say a lot. It really just goes over some sort of family heirloom that our father thought was very important for us to have, and that it's been stored for safekeeping, and that we would need it to keep the town afloat. And she pulls out another piece of paper. This is our records. My father owed a lot of money to a lot of people, and spent a lot of what the village had to repay that back. I mean, from these records, well, we've owed money to not only the local merchants, but merchants over in the next town. And my father believed that this heirloom was the answer to our problems. That if we got that back, then whoever took over would be able to use that and make things right for Barovia.
I suppose the next question would be, could we trouble you for some assistance in this endeavor? Supplies and the like.
Oh, well. I don't have too much to my name besides, and she pats a coin purse. This is my last bit of gold, and this is the payment for your services. And of course, if there is more money left over from whatever we find, if you guys find Ismark and retrieve the heirloom, I'm sure that we could work something else out. And she looks around the tavern. I could certainly get you all rooms to stay. I know it's not a lot, but...
That would be more than satisfactory, thank you. Question, time of day right now?
It is always hard to tell in Barovia because the skies are always overcast, but those of you who are natives would best estimate it to be late afternoon. Still some hours before the sky begins to get even darker than it already is.
Might be a weird question here. The letter you got, were you able to open it like instantly?
I mean, there was nothing that said we should wait to open it, so yeah, as soon as we found it, we just, wanted to see what he would write.
Did you use a specific plate to open it or something? Or just
a letter opener.
Can I have your letter opener?
We would need to go back to the manor, but certainly, if you have need to borrow it, you can make do. It's the least I can do.
Reward.
I don't see why not.
I'm in.
I'm sorry. Do you need a letter opener to open a letter? Won't anything sharp kind of do the trick?
Yeah. I mean, if you want a dagger...
I'm not sure. I just... Listen,
pull out a dagger.
It sounds like she has a very nice letter opener. I might have use of it at a later date.
You never know how many letters we're gonna find.
She'll twirl
like
her dagger around. Will this not suffice?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Can I try your dagger at a later date or tonight or something when you don't need it?
She'll just pass it across the table. You're more than welcome to try.
Neat. Thank you. I'll give it to you tomorrow again, I guess.
Of course.
I'm sorry, what was your name?
Oh, forgive me. I always forget. I introduce myself to some of you and all of you. And you're new. I have not seen you before. And she looks over to Ileana. Illy, you two are new faces. Irina Koliana. I guess I'm the new burgomaster, so...
Actually, that's kind of what I wanted to ask. I don't know if you're the person that would know this, but will there be a way to get out of here? Actually, where is here? You said this is Barovia, but kind of what plane is this?
And
Plane?
what the fuck is a burgomaster?
That too.
She looks
Burgomaster, come on.
very confused at all of these questions, but she's like, okay. a burgomaster is the town or village's leader, essentially. I don't know much more than that, how to explain it. It's just we're responsible for running the town and the well-being of the town and making the decisions and doing a lot of stuff. But anyways, I don't know what you mean by plain, but I suppose if you don't have much of an education, it makes sense that you wouldn't know that, there's the village of Barovia, and it's in the bigger, we call this area Barovia as a whole. So there's like the whole and then the village. And then there's like other towns like Valaki or Kresk. But I mean, those are pretty far away. But.
And then after that, like,
Yes.
the whole, what is it, like a planet? What is this?
I mean, there's nothing except the mists, but I wouldn't recommend going into the mists. Most people don't come back, or if they do, they come back changed.
Go look at Linnell. Do you remember trying to leave?
Linnell has the expression that she's acutely remembering why she doesn't spend a lot of time in the towns or just inside in general. I've never tried to escape. It's not really my forte. I think even if I was to try, I would just keep coming back. That's the thing that happens.
True. I tried.
You tried going into the mists?
Once.
I suppose
happened
once is
that
more than enough.
It was not without pain. And then I just came back.
Moral of that story, I think everyone here at the table takes, is don't go into the mists.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it. Even us uneducated people can put that together. Miss Ma'am with never heard of a mechanic. Yep.
What is that?
You know what? Maybe I'll educate you later.
Oh, that'd be very kind of you, thank you.
Oh, it's the same person that talked about space dust.
I don't know what that is either.
I think it's drugs.
Does anyone
Is it
else?
drugs? You have drugs.
It might be drugs.
Oh, there is.
It explains a
Sorry.
lot.
We do have drugs, but
Okay.
You have
I would
violent
ask you-
mist.
If you're gonna do any drugs here, I ask just to wait till I'm not in sight. I don't want to be one of those burgomasters who just like lords over everyone and controls everything you do, but I do have responsibilities, and
She's going to lean over the table, so there's a bit more of an interesting angle on her physically, and just go, well, we won't tell if you won't.
you saying that? Who are you saying that to?
To Irina.
Oh, and her cheeks turn rosy. Well, to be honest, everyone else in this tavern probably is overhearing most of what we're talking about. But I don't think we have to worry too much. Eric is quite amenable to stuff, and he's quiet. He doesn't say much. So, and everyone else here is probably
They
unsavory.
I guess it's good to be out of place here then?
Well, that's why I called you all together. Like, this is probably one of the better spots to meet, and yes, you'll have weird looks and stares, but it kind of makes sense.
Why did you ask like all of us like outsiders for this? Why not ask people who like fit in?
Well, no one would help. And as I said, you all kind of stick out like a sore thumb, and I mean,
Okay.
if you're here long enough, and you know, the villagers are quite superstitious.
If
So
you're sorry, if you're in command here, do they just not respect you enough to help you? What is wrong with you then? What does that say?
I'm
I feel
new
like what
here,
she's saying
okay?
is they wouldn't miss us if we went missing.
Oh, that's not what I'm saying at all. Well, actually, for you, ma'am, I'm so sorry. You have red hair, and honestly, if you're here too long, I think the villagers might start a riot. But
What's the hood further down?
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you guys all have all heard the
Just
superstition,
hair.
right?
No.
As idiotic
What
as
does-
it is, yes.
Well,
This doesn't make any sense. And you think space is too far out? I mean,
Yeah.
Space is weird.
technically it is.
what is space? You all are asking me things I have no idea about, and I don't know if you all are on drugs or what. And again, I will keep my judgment back, but
How about a change from all this? You wanted different questions. You said children, girls were going missing.
well, I wouldn't say children. They're grown, but I mean, Mad Mary's been speaking about her daughter for some weeks now, Gertruda, and Gertruda is a nice enough young lady, doesn't really leave her mother's house very often because Mary is quite. She's overbearing, which it makes sense in a place such as this. We're not Vlaki, we don't have the protections that they have, but I mean, even for here, Mary's a little too much. And so that's why, yes, she's gone missing, but she might have just run away.
Did you leave anything behind?
You would have to ask Mary herself. They have a house, south of here.
I think that the question I was approaching, because you said you used a plural term, meaning several, not just one.
Yeah.
Any connections? Does they all look the same way? They all part of the same family, or?
She leans in again and quiets her voice. I need to be careful how I word this, and so that no one else might overhear. It might cause a bit of a panic. I have my theory. Many of the girls that went missing had red hair. And as we know, red hair is shunned because it's said to bring the devil herself. Most of the time, we have ways of disguising their hair, but as things have been so peaceful lately, our younger villagers don't really listen as much to things, especially since I've taken over. I've tried to plead with people to listen, but I'm not my father. And my father had been so sick for so long that, well, frankly, I don't think even he had a strong hold on the village.
The younger generation prefer to play pretend on their own terms.
Mm.
Were those girls with red hair living in Barovia?
I would assume so, or on the outskirts, as is pretty common for those who are inclined to deal with the dangers of the woods. But, I mean, most everyone, I wouldn't know who has red hair here unless you're out and about blatantly, like, well, frankly, Miss Avrea. It's a little concerning, and that's probably why you're getting some stares. Beyond your fascinating looking company.
I think you mean Sarah. My hair is white.
Oh, my mistake. That red hair peeking out from your hood, you should probably lower your hood a little bit more, though I guess you won't be able to see where you're going.
Jesus.
Why bother now? I mean, everyone's seen it.
But there is one woman that has been in town that I know of. She's not missing. She's new, and maybe she just doesn't know the village's customs. I assumed that the customs were the same everywhere else, but I don't leave the village much. There's a bard who occasionally plays here at the inn. Her name is Veronica, and, well, if we want to talk about blatant, she's as blatant as they come.
Lena
What
looks
way?
intrigued.
How so?
Well, I mean, most people with red hair keep it covered or do what they can to disguise it, and she doesn't. Even when she's out and about, even when she's playing here, and perhaps this is why she chose the blood of the tavern, or blood of the Divine Inn. It's easier to be here and not catch the eye of the rest of the village.
In this tavern, where a majority of its denizens are staring at us currently.
Oh, you think this is bad? It'd be even worse out there. So, don't know if you've caught wind of anyone staring at you, but I'm sure as you've been in town, people have.
You mean it's only gonna get worse?
Likely, but this is where I come into play. I know that my standing as burgomaster doesn't give much here, but at least if you have my seal, then people are less likely to feel inclined to act upon their fears.
You're sealed. Does this mean you're gonna brand us?
Heavens, no. I have a little seal with some ink. Is branding something that happens where you're from?
There are a lot of things that happen where I'm from. I'm just trying to clarify.
Curious.
Terrifying. listen, these mechanics. Mechanic sounds like a dreadful monster, but, I know that's a lot of information thrown at you. I'm still processing everything myself, but I would happy to put a word in with the local merchant. I don't know how amenable he'll be to helping, considering I still owe him a pretty high sum of gold.
Maybe we just won't mention you then. What exactly do we need?
I mean, what do you all need?
I don't think what I need can be picked up from a merchant, but I have nothing else to do right now, so you ask for help. I will help.
Actually, I have a question. There is something I need help with, and she reaches from her. She flicks another nail, and out from her astral backpack is a snakeskin scroll, and she opens it, and there is like a family photo of her, Nash, and Veer, and yeah, and they're on the ship. It's the first day they got it, and they're so happy. And she points the two Githyanki men. Have you seen? Have you seen them? They would stick out.
She reaches for the scroll to get it closer. No, I've never seen such men? Such as this? They're your friends, though, right?
Yeah, they're.
I'll keep an eye out for them. I mean, they'll stick out just as much as the rest of you do, so...
Okay, you could also just stop saying that. Like, it is rude.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. It's just...
Okay, I mean, you said it.
It's a warning of such. You all are out here pretty blatantly, and I was kind of expecting you all to show up like, I don't think I've caught your name, and she gestures towards Sarah.
Sarah.
Well, Sarah's wearing a cloak, and I mean, I wouldn't have seen her red hair if I didn't sit so close. But the rest of you all are just... Well, you're fascinating. You're nothing like I've ever seen. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I promise I don't. But I just can't promise that everyone else will feel the same way.
It's been a very long time since I gave a fuck about what anyone else thinks. It's good advice, actually. You should keep that in mind, Burgomaster.
I like you.
Oh, okay. I'll try.
And I appreciate you making the offer, your seal to win favor. Don't worry about me. I think it would do your seal more damage than good for me.
I want to ask why, but I'm also really scared too.
It's fine. It is in your best interest.
Take your word for it.
You seem really stressed. You should reconsider those drugs.
I am really stressed. Really stressed. And she, like, kind of begins wiping at her eyes like
Oh,
clearly like
really?
blinking
Oh,
back tears.
heck.
Like, I'm sorry. This is just, it's been a lot, and my father just died, and Ismark was supposed to take over, and I don't know why I'm sitting in this role. I wasn't prepared for it, but I am, and there's all these things that I've learned about this village that I didn't know before. And frankly, the five of you, you're my only hope.
Sure, you're doing a great job at being a burgomaster.
I know that's a lie, but thanks, I appreciate it anyways.
I have no idea what you're supposed to do, so I'm just trying to help your self-esteem here.
You seem very capable.
Indeed.
I think
What
it's more of an observation that in this terrifying world full of monsters and scary mist and she-devils, as you put it, that it is actually possible for someone of this level of innocence to actually be a functioning somewhat person. Congratulations.
You know, and there is something about fake it till you make it. Just pretend you have no shits to give until eventually it's true.
But all the while remembering the ever important concept of self-care.
I'll try to take that all into account. Thank you all. I frankly wasn't expecting to be cheered up during this, but I'm not complaining.
You clearly needed it.
Now that's service with a smile.
Well, and she kind of pushes herself back from the table and stands up. I have a lot that I need to do, but to find Ismark, at least the area that the letter mentioned, it's east of the village. If you follow the road, I'm pretty sure you would run into the older part. I haven't been down that way in quite some time, but the old Strahdalicious road is still there somewhat. I mean, it leads out. Can't imagine anyone's disturbed it.
Question: would Linnell know anything about the road in question?
She would. She would know that old Strahdalicious road extends across the entire plain of Barovia. Like, it takes you through, kind of like almost through the middle. It takes you through to a majority of the other places. It's the main road of travel.
It is something I am familiar with, don't worry. What was his name? Ismark?
Ismark.
Okay.
He has normally brown hair. Though if he's kept up with it, I can't be certain. It's red.
Oh.
Like the others. So it would be hard to miss him unless he's keeping that covered. Something he does daily and without him having been home, I don't know if he's been able to keep up with it.
Hair dye isn't a luxury I would imagine is easily afforded in Barovia. Is it an original recipe?
I don't know. My father acquired it for him since we were really young.
Coal works as well, in worst case. Or dirt.
Fascinating.
So, looking for brothers, slaying monsters, and it's still only the afternoon.
She picks up $50 gold pieces and sets it on the table. First half of your payment. I know it's not much, but again, you are welcome to keep anything you find in the older village besides the heirloom, and we can discuss details on that later. And she'll set it
Don't
down.
forget the letter opener.
And the letter opener. I can do that. And she'll give you all a very uncertain nod. And she turns around and hurries out of the tavern.
That was something.
Eyeing everyone in the tavern. Perhaps it's time for a change of scenery.
Don't we have rooms here now or something?
Never got that cleared up, did we?
Well, she
What?
said
Not
she was
really.
friends with the bar guy. We could just ask.
I think one thing at a time.
Yes.
Well, I know the way.
Should we
Should go
just go
now?
now?
I have
Might as well
nothing
get
else to
started.
do.
I mean,
Onward.
there's nothing keeping us here, right?
And who-
It's like a day away, did she say?
Mm.
So should we grab some snacks before we go? I don't know about you guys, but I'm prone to getting hangry.
I'm alright
Good
for
to
now.
know.
I think Linnell looks over at Ileana. It's like, well, a day's journey. Might find a monster to snack on. I didn't quite figure out what you meant by all of that, but I assume
Just
you kill them and
snack
eat them.
on and wait.
That's fun.
Oh, you meant eating. I wasn't sure like what way you meant snacking for a second, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a snack, but perhaps not in the way you might imagine.
Hmm.
First there's pleasure, then there's pain. You never know in what way. So yeah, let's go find a
Indeed.
monster snack or two.
I
Let's
didn't
get some
think there was a
actual
difference.
Just in case there's not any snackable monsters for you on the way, just
Now that we got money, I'll go get some food. One moment, please.
Did we catch the bartender's name?
Few
I don't think
that
he
have
said it.
been here before, which is the native Barovians, would know him as Eric. He is not a man of words. Often grunting in response to most of what anyone asked him. And he is polishing an old mug.
Sauntering up to the bar.
Mm.
Eric, might we acquire rations for 5, please?
I ain't got much. I just got some wine. Depends on how much you're willing to spend on that.
Any food, perhaps?
I got some wine.
Well, take what we can get, I suppose. How much?
And you see him kind of look behind. He's like, well, good stuff, bad stuff.
The good stuff.
He will go ahead and let me double check on here.
Meanwhile, Ileana is like really taking in Linnell's tattoos.
A bottle will cost you 1 silver piece, please.
She'll pay it.
Get more than one.
Do you say that to?
Yeah. Just
Okay.
tell up. Like get more than one. We're on a trip. And
She'll
we don't know each other well yet, so
hold up a
might-
finger to Eric. And how many should I get?
How much silver you got?
It's a good question, Bree.
we just got paid 50 gold.
I'll say that while you're looking that up, if Ileana is studying the tattoos, what you'll also notice on Linnell's skin, there are many, many different scars all over her, like what you can see of her skin, because her clothing is very scantily clad.
Samesies.
Looks very homemade, like very tattered, old. But there are various scars from wounds. You can't even tell how old the wounds are, the scars. But she wears it well.
She'll, you know, one each. She'll hand over 5 silver pieces.
He looks at you and he doesn't say anything, but he goes to a door and disappears behind it. Looks like he's going to go retrieve the bottles in question.
To Sarah. Well, we might be on our own as far as a meal, but at least we're well equipped.
I may be able to handle the food. I'm glad we have something to drink at least. But let me worry about the food. We're gonna be fine.
Splendid. She'll wait for Eric.
Turns, he has 3 bottles in hand. And you can see on the label, it says Red Dragon Crush. Last we got of the good stuff.
All right. She'll still hand him 5 silver pieces. Taking the 3 bottles back to the table, putting them each out. We'll have to divvy our supply accordingly.
It's for better group bonding, I suppose.
Indeed.
Can I make a quick? You decide what this would be: insight or investigation on Lena. I want to see if I notice any particular signs which I'm familiar with, as referenced before, like an absence of breathing.
Lena, are you doing anything to fashion yourself as normal as you can?
Since it's Linnell, no.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me perception.
Perception it is. That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. All right. Lena, describe what is off about you that would be perceivable to anyone looking closely.
It's not so much breathing, because those movements seem very practiced, but it's the way that she speaks and the accent she uses that seems like it's similarly rehearsed. And also, when she put the bottles of wine out, she would have pushed them toward everyone else while not attempting to pour a glass for herself. And you probably would have caught, when Ileana mentioned getting hangry, she said, "I'm all right for now."
Okay. I think Linnell just gives you a knowing look, which she probably, I don't know, probably just looks weird without the context.
If Lena is pouring for everybody, I refuse mine. I'd rather stay lucid, thank you.
All right.
Ileana looks at Sarah. More for us?
I imagine that.
All right.
Just a quick question, because probably since we can't get any food here, I will be supplying some of the. I will find something to eat. But is anyone like not eating meat or something? Is space dust something you like consume for your everyday needs, or
No, that's just something I serve. I eat anything and everything.
what about the rest of you?
Pretty much, yeah, same.
No dietary restrictions for me.
And you?
I eat what I feel like eating. It's complicated.
Sounds like a very picky eater.
Picky eater, yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
Big cold wars.
So does that mean like you gotta find your own food, or you're just gonna not eat something that I find, or what?
Let's go with that. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That sounds complicated.
We'll figure it
We'll
out.
figure it out, I guess.
All right, well, we're stacked drinks. Can't get food. We might as well go.
Yeah.
Onward.
Follow
All
me.
right. And you all are heading directly out to Old Svalich Road.
Yes.
Okay. It will be, as mentioned, a day's journey, requiring you to at least take one long rest. You can push yourselves to try to make it without one, if you would like.
What would happen
You
if you
don't
did?
have to. We have something to drink. I can find food.
Can everybody see at night okay?
Thanks.
Good question.
Very good question.
Yeah. Okay, above table.
Yeah.
If you don't have dark vision, let a girl know, because I got a fun feature.
No, I'm good.
I do. I'm
I
good.
think we all do.
Do we? Wow.
We're basically
I'm not
all
saying
elves.
it.
Oops, almost all
Alright.
elves.
Okay.
I
It's
do
under-
not.
It's under the passive wisdom, intelligence, and stuff like that.
Okay. So you don't have dark vision. We have one character. Got it. I'ma help you out when it's nighttime. You just let me know.
Yeah, you will.
I'm okay with taking a break. I mean, they said things come out at night. Well,
She didn't specify a time limit.
why tax ourselves? We don't know what we're getting into. Shit may hit the fan.
Let's just
Okay.
make camp.
And there was the offer of rooms.
I mean, if
Eh.
shit hits the fan, whatever a fan is, that's kind of when I do my best work. So
It's like a propeller. and
What's
it
a
What's a
goes-
propeller?
Oh my. All right, I gotta see what kind of vehicles y'all got here, because I feel like we're from more than different places.
What's a
We're gonna be smart.
vehicle?
All right.
Do you know what a wheel is?
Yes, I know what a
Like
wheel is.
horse
So we have common
carriages?
ground.
Right. What?
Like,
Are you
there
carriage
are
people?
horses here, right?
Carriages, yes.
Yes, we have
Okay.
horses.
Okay, good.
They're tasty. Nah, just kidding. Well, we do
I
have
mean,
we have
I
horses.
suppose they're
we got
edible.
animals.
Yes, that's the
horses are
food
edible.
sorted.
anything's edible if you try hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Everything's edible at least once.
Yep.
Wise words.
No, I'll try anything twice.
I would like to see you try.
You might.
I'll pay good money for that. Yeah, let's do that.
I want to see you try to
Can I
open
just pick some berries and you try to eat them twice?
Okay.
I'll hold you to that.
I would like to see you open this letter that seems to be beyond your capabilities.
That's a good point. What the fuck is up with that?
See if the dagger does the trick.
Yeah, let's try the fucking dagger.
Yeah.
Because punching it didn't work. Alright, I
You
will
try to punch a
open-
letter?
Punched an envelope.
I assume we're
Might be
walking and
why.
talking.
Listen,
Well,
Yes,
this is happening.
I would say
Probably.
that you guys are heading out on your way down this road.
listen, if nothing else helps, you punch it.
Right.
And I was not able to open that fucking letter, so I punched it.
That's certainly a
Suppose that's
philosophy.
fair.
I guess I will try to open the envelope with the dagger that Lena gave me.
And I'm gonna touch her shoulder, and you're gonna get like a little boost as I cast guidance. I think the second time is the charm. Or third, or fourth. I don't know how many times you've punched it.
You don't want to know.
Roll me either a sleight of hand or a strength check.
Let's go sleight of hand. And the guidance is a D4, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you roll a d4.
I should have not used my RD dice without being RD. It's a 4, including the guidance.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh, no.
4, including the guidance. What number was on the guidance?
Oh, 1. And a 3 on the D20.
Party watches as you struggle with an envelope. You try to chisel the dagger into the little edges, and it resists you at every little slice you try to make. Mad
Blades are
Mind.
not my thing.
Do you mind if
Blades.
I try?
Sure.
Okay, so I pick up one of my daggers and try to open it.
All right, go ahead.
What do I do?
Roll either sleight of hand or strength.
Okay. That's 21.
Oh. You try wheedling that knife in through one of the cracks. And just like she struggled, you struggle as it slips out.
Oh, now I want to punch it. I
See?
get it.
It's a valid response.
Perhaps it's something to do with the seal. If we melted it.
But you know, the dagger was not. That's why I asked for the letter opener of the burgomaster, because the letter looked similar, and she was able to open hers. So maybe the letter opener is magic. I don't know.
All right, that makes more sense and is way less sad.
While all this has been
Can
going
I-
on, and I assume it's taken a little bit of time, I'm going to ritual cast Detect Magic.
I
All right.
wanted to do an Arcana check, like without just in general.
It's like a fucking door, but in envelope form.
Like-
I have a door. I give you guys envelopes. Enjoy. So your ritual casting, since it's been a while, let me look up real quick what you'd have that for that. And which one are you ritual casting?
Detect Magic.
Detect magic. So just a straight up detect. If I could spell, that's big.
It's the spell that always catches
Easy.
me off guard when people ask me.
All right.
I think just to add a bit of flavour to this as well, what the rest of you see as Linnell does this, she traces her hand through the air and whispers under her breath, and the tattoos just faintly glow the same blue as her eyes, and then fades as she finishes the incantation.
You would sense that this letter is magical. And as for the school of magic that you detect, it would be abjuration.
So you can keep trying. I don't think a letter opener is the way to go with this one. This is an arcanic problem.
Can you open it then? You seem magical.
You do.
My skills are a little limited at the moment. I'm a little tapped out. It's been a time. You hold on to it, and
What
we'll figure
if
it out.
the letter opener of the burgomaster is magical, though?
I mean, that's a whole different conversation.
Entirely possible.
You say you're tapped out now. Is that like a daily thing?
It's a bit more. There's no. It's long, complicated story. No offense, but I don't know you all enough to get into some very heavy conversation. That's the only way that conversation can go. So,
That's
I mean,
what we have the
maybe-
alcohol for, but yeah.
Sure, let's go with that.
That's fair. Yeah.
While they're chatting, Ileana is gonna be watching around them and looking for danger.
Can you roll me, Ileana, a d20?
Okay. 13. Am I adding anything to that?
Nope, just a straight D20.
Neat.
And things are quiet. The sun is still up. It might be nearing nightfall soon, but you don't see anything but field and trees and this long stretch of road.
Does the sun feel warm?
No.
That's weird. It's very strange. All right.
Takes getting used to.
I usually use the sun to warm up a bit. All right.
There might be other ways.
Oh, there are other ways.
Often we try and replicate the feelings of other places here.
By other places, what do you mean?
While I have lived in Barovia for some time, I did have another life elsewhere.
You did say you tried to go over the mist, so you know that there is a way?
There is no way. I tried and I suffered dearly for my mistake.
There must be another way.
No one talks about it like the Burgomaster pointed out, because they don't want to believe, because this is all they know.
I wasn't supposed to be here. I wasn't supposed to be on our ship either.
She'll look at Ileana and Avrea, and I am truly sorry that out of all the places to be marooned, fate decided it had to be Barovia for the two of you.
Well, I guess I'm still hopeful. It might just be that I'm new, but I can find a way.
There's some advice for you. Hold on to that hope for as long as you can. It is a rare quality in these parts.
I can
I
see that.
concur.
Speaking of parts, I don't even know where I'm gonna get what I need to get my ship up and going. And I have one dead crewmate.
One thing at a time. Space buns.
What is it that you need for your spaceship?
You know what? How about we go on a field trip sometime and you can see it for yourself? Oh, actually, look, it's right here on our christening day. That's my that's my ship.
The fuck is that?
It's
Charming.
a ship for like the 80th time.
Am I hallucinating this?
I think it's like, people go fishing on the river sometimes, like in a
Yeah.
pond. It's like that, but bigger. I think. I don't know.
Are you going fishing with this?
Are there space fish?
Ileana
Where
would
do you
know
put-
the answer to that is there is space fish.
There actually is space fish.
Does that mean there's space sushi?
Ileana
Do you
dreams of
have, like-
sushi.
I want sushi now. Do you have like rods you push out of that thing to like get fish?
We use the rods for other things there, but that's a conversation for a lot more wine on a different day. I think we should keep going.
We do have wine. Because what? I want to know where this is going.
Maybe
Do
when
I-
we make camp.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you all going to look for a particular place to make camp, perhaps in the nearby woods, or are you going to stay right at the road?
I mean, speaking of experience, like Lenella, and I, is it safer to stay on the road and make camp, or venture off road to make camp?
It'd be safer to stay at the road.
I think it's best we do that then.
As good a place as any.
We don't have to walk far.
I'll leave it up to you as long as we're safe.
Presuming we'll take watches during the night.
I can do that.
I can do that as well.
Likewise, I don't mind.
It is worth noting that with a long rest, this is your opportunity to do certain things, and I encourage you to utilize this opportunity. So, Serafina, with your background, you are able to search for food for your party. And party could, if they wish to, forage to see what they could find around them.
Mm.
I definitely want to find food for the party.
Do you need any help?
I welcome all help if you're willing to.
Yeah. I'd be glad to.
I'll tag along as well.
All right, I guess
Sure.
that'll leave me on Team Forage.
Okie dokie.
All right. For food, per your background, it doesn't appear that you need to make any check, unless I'm wrong. But from what I've read,
Not as far as I've
it seemed
seen.
like you're guaranteed, which is great. For those of you who are foraging, and if those going with Sarah would like to forage as they go, if you have proficiency in survival, you are welcome to roll me a survival check.
I do not have proficiency in survival.
I do.
This was a mistake.
Did we separate or go together?
Assuming we're together?
Okay.
That's a
Alright.
13 for me.
That's a, sorry, what was that?
13.
Okay. Write that down.
16.
16. Is anyone else proficient in rolling? Right.
No.
Unfortunately, Avrea, you don't spot much. It's hard to tell not being a native from here, what is just weeds and what is grass and what is what? Liana, on the other hand, you're a little more fearless in your foraging. And I'm going to have you roll me a d6.
All right.
Yeah,
A
I'm too
4.
on edge to find anything.
All right. And sorry, what was that roll? One more
A
time.
4.
4. Okay. I'm going to make a note of that, and I will gather which things you find. Because my Google Sheet crashed, and when I opened it, it doesn't have my easy rolling table.
Oh,
no.
of course it did.
That's how it goes, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll get you that information.
Question.
Yes.
I don't have proficiency in survival, but could I look for ingredients? Like, investigate?
Let me take a look at your background real quick, because I know you have a specific one. Unfortunately not. Though, when Ileana finds the things that she has, you will be able to examine and identify them
Okay.
if you have knowledge of those specific ones. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
Right. Anything else you all would like to do during your long rest? Otherwise, I think this is a good place for us to call the first session.
I think the only thing Linnell will do at any time she's not conversing with any of the group, I think she's just sat down and in her hands is twiddling a familiar dagger from the opening introductions and is just staring at it.
Can I take the ingredients I do have and work on a potion?
Do you have any ingredients?
Doesn't say in my inventory, but after identifying ingredients, can I?
Once I get those, I will let you know, and we will determine
Okay.
whether you are able to. But until I get that sheet up, unfortunately, I don't even know what you guys foraged, so I will let you know
Alright.
after session, once I get this up.
I'm just gonna make food for the whole party.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I'm gonna help, and then once I realize there's too many cooks in the kitchen, I'm gonna grab my blanket, wrap it around myself, and take a seat. And stroke the mark on my hand.
All right. Anything else before I give one final last thing?
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm just scared for the final thing, but no, I'm good.
Yeah,
Don't be
I'll-
scared.
I'll just offer to be guard when everyone else is asleep.
As you all lay down for this rest, music begins to play. from Ileana's bag. The box that you took from Ganash's hand is playing music. You're not familiar with this. It wasn't something that he kept precious and close to him. So why was he holding it in his last moments? No answer comes to your mind on what it could be. And no amount of messing with it or fiddling with it turns it off.
Alright, so between your impenetrable envelope and this box, I see something weird's going on.
It's making an awful lot of noise.
There's no way to turn it off.
I can try to I got not a lot of I can try to smother it, but
I can punch it.
go ahead.
I was thinking to smash it as well, so
Can I punch it?
Takes no damage. Just like it took no damage in the crash.
I'm
Throw
really-
it?
I'm not sure I
No.
can punch anything anymore.
I can't. I can't get rid of it.
I keep looking out to see if anybody's noticing the noises and if there's any monsters.
Ileana, are you attempting to dampen the noise that it makes?
I am. She has very little clothing on, so it's very much like a dampen with between titties and cross the arms situation.
All right.
I'll do
Duly
disadvantage.
noted. You wrap yourself around it desperately, praying to your goddess that your flesh is enough to keep it as quiet as it needs to be, so that no creatures of the night might hear it. And that is where we're gonna end session for today. Thank you all so much. I am Bree, your new dungeon mistress for Fridays. I appreciate everyone for tuning in and allowing me to take a seat at the table. We are gonna go ahead and get things wrapped up for the night. I will start by letting my wonderful cast of players speak for themselves and just, again, give a little reminder of who they are and plug what they would like to plug. We are going to go backwards from how we started earlier, and we're going to start with C.
Oh no.
Hot spot, hot spot.
I'm C, and you can find me at Hey C on both YouTube and Twitch. And should I say my favorite moment?
You can I'm more than happy to let everyone share their favorite moments for today.
So my favorite moment was the very emotional wreck, literal wreck that was Ileana after the ship crashed. That was really moving and it was really nice. And also the whole flashback thing in general
I am
was
glad
very
you
well
liked
done.
it. Then we'll move on to Lena. So Bridget.
Hi, fans! Oh, when I'm not here Fridays getting screwed, you can find me Monday nights on the Redani Chronicles playing Frank, Way the Long Dead Shadow Guy Monk. Or behind the scenes, just lore keeping and stuff. Favorite moment, hands down, the 23 I got to roll to determine the monster fucker status.
You know, sorting out the really important things that matter in this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta establish it from the start.
Yep.
All right. River.
Right. I'm edelweiss.chaos on all social media, also part of Tales of Exandria and the Live Chateau. And over the next few Wednesdays, you can find me as the Traveler, as Artie on the Wildman Chronicles, also here on Quest Junkies. And favorite moment is, apart from the amazing intros everyone got, I really enjoyed the careful role playing and prodding at each other, like, what can we discuss? Where are we going with this? Like, how do we interact with each other now? Was very entertaining. And I'm very excited to see how all of this goes.
Hey. Sky.
Hey everybody, I'm a YouTuber. You can find me on YouTube as Sky McSparkle. I cover Critical Role and Dimension 20. You can find me on the Cantrip Cast every Wednesday as we are doing things with Dungeon Master Therapy. And every Friday now here we have a home. And my favorite moments, the flashbacks, were so well done. The pacing, like everything. It was so unique. And these blood droplets, killer. I love them. One of my favorite moments, besides like that farmer getting rickety wrecked, I would have to say having the knowledge that you keep punching an envelope and you did that repeatedly is gold.
It won't open. I gotta punch something.
I mean, I know you like normally tag him, but you know, tonight your bow was showing.
Thank you.
Normally, you know, you're
critical
causing
alive.
chaos, but this time chaos is happening to you, so what can you do? All right. And then last but not least, Patch.
That's me, Patch. Usually your ever humble dungeon master, who usually plays everyone else, but played Linnell tonight. You can find me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on Quest Junkies. This is my home. We do homebrew D&D on Mondays with the Redani Chronicles. We do the Wildmount Chronicles, our foray into destroying Matt Mercer's canon every Wednesday. And then this gloriously terrifying campaign now every Friday. Favorite moment. What an absolutely astounding opening session. Obviously, I'm very biased about my own flashback scene. That was so good. But if I'm being honest, it was just the moment you began your opening narration, because that was the moment I was like, okay, yeah, we're in good hands. Like, that's the moment where my comfort as a player on this channel, which is a rare thing,
Good.
just set in immediately, and I was able to forget about OBS and Twitch and all that and just settle into the story, which is a gift. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And you're amazing.
And I appreciate you letting me, as you said earlier, like 10 minutes into knowing me, being like, hey, yeah, you want to run a campaign?
Yeah, fun fact. That's how this all happened.
Yep. So, you know, I wasn't expecting to run this game again anytime soon, and I'm so glad that I'm able to, and that you guys are all with me at this table. So, trying to think of any last minute things that the chat might want to know or need to know. If you're wondering why we didn't plug an artist for the character art, it's because it's just me.
I will absolutely plug it
As if
now.
it's not
So humble.
fantastic.
It's just me.
Oh,
goodness.
Lee.
Whoa.
Shit. What?
Shit.
I'm so glad that I bought 100 of these little drops.
What the?
Maybe I'll find something special for this.
Who
Thank
did
you.
that?
Whoever
God.
We're
subbed,
never gonna run out.
anonymous
Wow.
gifter.
Oh
We're gonna
my
gamble
goodness.
at every roll now.
Hell yeah. We're gonna get addicted to gambling. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You know what?
50.
That's okay with me. Thank you so much
Wow.
again, and please everyone join us again next Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern. I forgot what it is over in the UK. I'm sorry.
9
p.m.
And join us back as we travel back into the mist of Barovia. Let's see. Who should we raid?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have a look now. I'm just typing this thank you message in the chat because that was a lot of
Brady, you
gifted
have a
subs.
favorite moment from the session.
Yeah,
Of
I was
course.
Do I
just-
have a favorite moment? I have so many. That's the problem. I have trouble choosing. You all did amazing. I'm just really thankful that you guys trusted me enough to do the intros and to take what you gave me and make it into, something that we could really use to get into the feel for the game. But I wasn't able to pay much attention to chat because I'm just too ADHD to give chat too much attention. It'll pull me out. But I will say it was fun seeing everyone's reactions to everything going on. That as a dungeon master, that was what made my heart happy and do a little pitter patter. I was like, yes, this is why I do this, for my players and people watching. So thanks, QJs, for tuning in.
All the love to you, QJs at home.
All the love.
You meant Dungeon Mommy, right? Not Dungeon Master. I'm just
Dungeon
Clarifying
mommy,
for the
dungeon
chat.
mistress, dungeon master, whatever you would like to
All of
call me.
I just
I'll
do
take
love
it.
the concept of like just being in the middle of a session and being like, "Mommy, can I make a perception check?"
Y'all can refer to me however you would like. You have my permission.
The tabletop.
I am your tabletop.
There it is.
Yes. And
Okay. Let's.
thanks again, everyone.
Yeah, it has been so wonderful, and I'm already looking forward to next
We're
week.
already
So,
processing today.
yeah, we have the
It's
emotional
starting.
support goose.
Yes.
So thanks, guys. All love to you at home. We're gonna go raid, find some lovely people to raid. But in the meantime, all love to you, and we will next see you on Monday for the Redania Chronicles. But
Yeah.
Bree, care to give us a Strahdalicious sign off?
Oh, I didn't prepare anything for that. Don't throw it at me. Oh, I don't have anything. Sorry.
That's all good. We'll
I'm
workshop
tapped
something.
out.
We'll
Next
we'll
time.
Okay.
We'll see
Okay.
you next week as we wait for the monsters that come out of the shadows. And we will.
Oh, you're waiting?
show
I thought
them.
you're finding them. I thought you were
Yeah.
pursuing them.
Oh, I thought they were
We're
going to come
actively
for the
looking.
music box.
What you
Maybe I
do?
should stop smothering.
Where
and be
are you
like,
at?
Hey.
Liana's literally there, like, look at me, I'm a target.
Just holding the box up in the air like it's
Hello?
a
Is
stereo
anyone
system.
there?
Just like,
Yeah.
Thank you
Okay,
for
we
the
need
Google
fan art
reference.
of that immediately. That exact thing.
Yes.
All right. Much love, everybody at home. We'll see you next week. Take care. Good night.
yeah. Thank you,
Good night.
everyone.